Okay, friends, hello. Today is December 4th, 2023. This morning, I had a dream and I want to share it. It's short, so I'm going to try to make this video short too. So in a dream, I was at work and how did this guy catch up with me again? Sorry. So I'm at work and we were doing some how can I explain it? We were doing a bunch of like regulatory things that don't actually have anything to do with our actual work, but we just have a whole bunch of like paperwork and stuff that we have to fill out to prove that we did things, and filling out all that paperwork and proving that you did it actually interferes with you being able to do it. So it just like slows everything down and gives you less time to do what you're supposed to be doing, or to do what, you know, let's say you make pom-poms for cheerleaders, and then you're supposed to put a certain number of strings in each pom-pom. So after you count the strings and put them in the pom-poms, then you got to take a picture of all the strings that you put in there, and then you have to take the picture over to a cabinet and file it and do all that stuff. So meanwhile, that takes twice as long as actually making a pom-pom. So your factory only makes a third of the pom-poms they could make, because they spend the other 2/3 of the time having to prove to the regulators that they actually made the one pom-pom they made. So, if that makes sense. So that's the kind of stuff that we do all the time at my job. My job is the process at my job is extremely inefficient because of all of these checks and things that we need to do, and all this documenting things instead of actually doing them. So it's very inefficient and really quite ridiculous, actually. So anyway, that's what we were doing in my dream. There was something that me and another person, we were marking down documentation about something at the job. And in addition to that, there was a people are really driving crazy, and there's a lot of traffic. So in addition to that, there was a thread of comments. I don't know if it was like on a video. It was like, it seemed like maybe there was something like there was a video that we made about Obama. You know, the kind of stuff that I talk about Obama. So me and this one guy at my job, there was a video that we made, and we were talking about Obama, and different people were commenting about it. And so my coworker said to me, he said, Obama actually answered or he commented on this. Now, this thing wasn't to Obama, and it would be like, why would Obama even know that these regular little people were saying anything about him? So my coworker was like, Obama commented on this. Obama actually answered. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, and he showed me. And at the same time, he was pointing it towards me. It was like it was on an iPad, or it was like it was on an iPad. And it kind of appeared as though how text message bubbles go back and forth. So Obama chimed in with a comment. And he said, he was like, yeah, he said, I'll be there in a month, or I'll be back in a month. I don't remember the exact wording, but what he was saying was, I'm going to be there in a month, or I'll be back in a month, something like that, he said. And that was basically the end of the dream. And the way he was saying I'll be there in a month was like, yeah, I'm going to be there in a month to take care of y'all. Y'all making all these crazy negative comments about me, talking about me, and in a month I'll be back. So I just wanted to share that, because, well, a lot of people, including me, have dreamed many, many times that Obama was coming back. So in this dream I just had, he said in the dream that it was in a month that he was coming back. So I thought about how him saying that in my dream was in conjunction with us doing all of these regulatory things that was slowing down the process at my job. And there's a lot of policies that have been implemented by the government in many different industries and in many different professions and things like that have been implemented by the government, that have been required by the government in order to receive federal funds or to participate in federal programs. Basically just to receive money, that you have to comply with all of these regulations, and you have to supply all of this documentation to the government in order to participate in the programs. Like different programs like No Child Left Behind, and all of the, I think they're called Title I programs with schools, in healthcare. There's things like HIPAA. There's the Medicare and Medicaid programs, the Joint Commission of Healthcare Accreditation or something like that. It's called JCO. Banking, all kinds of city governments, everything. In order to participate in this money that the federal government is borrowing on your behalf, is your money anyway. In order to get a piece of this money, you have to be saddled down with all these regulatory tasks. So what I thought about when I woke up from this dream was the very first dream that I had about Obama, where he was busy doing all these shipments. He was busy doing all this stuff. And then once he had put all these things that he was busy doing in place. He didn't care about being exposed because the things that he put in place were going to make it so he could not be stopped. So it didn't even matter if you knew what he was trying to do, because these things were tricks and traps that would make it where people couldn't get away anyway, and his plans would succeed because of these things he put in place. And now I'm understanding that the things that he put in place were things like Obamacare, because inside Obamacare there's a lot of healthcare regulations that created a tremendous amount of inefficiency within healthcare. In the name of proving and documenting things, proving that you're doing a good job, you actually are now not able to do a good job, because all those things were just put in place to be a drag on the system. Now let's say you're a mom. You know, when your baby is wet, you change the baby. When your baby is hungry, you feed your baby. But there comes times where there might be something wrong with your baby. Your baby might not have had a bowel movement in a couple of days, and that's something a mom will become concerned about. But just imagine if every mother had to write down every diaper that their baby did. Was it a wet diaper? Was it a poopy diaper? Well, how much poop was in it? Well, is this enough poop? Well, now to make sure it's enough poop, you need to weigh the poop. And you need to keep all these records and provide this proof of how many times you changed your baby. Did they have enough wet diapers? Well, then weigh the baby every day. Did you change your baby's clothes? Did you bathe the baby? Well, now provide all this proof that you did it. And if anybody has a baby and a busy life, you already know there's barely enough hours in the day to do what you are doing. Imagine if you now have to keep all these records. So this is something like what the Affordable Care Act, which is the other name for Obamacare, which is what it did to healthcare. It's disguised itself as being concerned with privacy and bettering healthcare, but all it did was saddle the whole entire healthcare system with nonsense regulations and a bunch of extra stuff that they had to do that doesn't have anything to do with providing care for patients. Proof on top of proof on top of proof, proof that you have the proof. And it's taken away the man hours and the manpower away from actual patient care. And it's across the board. It's from the aides to the surgeons, just eating up their time with regulatory things. And this has happened all throughout our society, not just in healthcare, not just in schools. Teachers are asking for more instructional time because they're spending all their time in paperwork, in things that sound really good, things that sound like they should be improving school and improving education. But all they're doing is tying the teachers up in paperwork, documentation, and useless preparation. so that the thing that they're actually there to do, which is teach kids, is the last thing that is the priority. The teachers have to get all this paperwork done and all these charts and documents and all this stuff. Same thing with healthcare. Same thing in many, many, many other industries. So what Obama and the people whose plan it is to subvert this nation and to come in and make a takeover. Their plan was to take away our productivity as a nation, to waste our time, to have us busier than we've ever been, and getting less out of it than we've ever gotten, and paying more for it than we've ever paid. So we'll say, specifically, we'll say in teaching, it costs more than ever to educate a child. And you're doing less educating of the child than you've ever done. Because so much more of the time is being spent in non-instructional time. Non-instructional things. Time that the teacher is not in front of the student teaching them something. But all that time still costs money. Same thing in healthcare. So to produce the same amount of healthcare, to produce the same amount of actual care for patients, the cost has gone through the roof. So, now you're not just paying for the time that your doctor is actually, listening to you breathe, saying, take a deep breath, let it out. You're not just paying for that time. You're paying for the time when he's typing all that in the computer 3 and 4 times. You're paying for the computers. You're paying for all of this stuff. And something else I'm not even going to add in is how insurance companies allow prices to go through the roof. That's a whole separate thing. So anyway, that's what my dream was. Because Obama said in 7 days, in my other dream that I had back in 2014, he said in 7 days I'm going to blow this place up. And now I believe that the 7 days were 7 years. And 7 years from that time was 2021. So, we all know what happened in 2021 and how everything changed because of, the martial law that was really imposed on this country, behind the flu. So anyway, that was a dream. Obama was saying, I'll be back in 7 days. I'll be back in a month. So I'll be back in a month. So through those processes where we have become very weak and inefficient, even though we're spending more effort than ever, more effort, more time, more money than ever, through different policies and regulations that the government has put in place, most of that time, money, and effort is being wasted on red tape and paperwork.